Shit's about to get real! Here we go again, I will never know.
Document what's going on. If you can check out this video, there is a tear gas canister being shot right at their car. It gets very close to their car, very close to their equipment. They were about to do a live shot just like we were. We were setting up in that exact same neighborhood. Obviously, we're filming this, getting ready to do live shots, and they had to take off running.
My hands are up, bro. My hands are up.
Hands up. Turn raised and pointed. Raised and pointed at the building. Hands up. I will fucking kill you. Get back. Hands up. Get back.
You're gonna kill him.
He's trying to kill him. He's trying to
Get back. What's your name, sir? Your name's go fuck yourself? Alright, go fuck yourself.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, officer, go fuck yourself.
Officer, go fuck yourself. He's trying to kill me.
I have to say I'm very, very disturbed and upset in a way I didn't think I could be anymore. I didn't think that anything could shock me like this. I think I just watched a Soviet-style propaganda, I don't know what to call it, operation. We walked through a crowd of people who were happy. There were some younger people who were maybe getting a little bit rowdy, and there had been some people running around, and we felt like it was, it was getting dark and it was kind of time to go. And so I gathered my young friend and my daughter, and we walked out, and there was still a whole bunch of kids there and families. It's kind of like a tailgate party, I mean, not a lot of alcohol, but still a tailgate party. I had many conversations, several conversations with intelligent people, and they all agreed about the same thing, that they weren't there about black people or white people. They were there because they feel the cops have pushed too far. They've gotten out of control. That's all it was about. It wasn't about whitey. It's not about racism at all. It doesn't matter that Mike Brown was black. Not for me, and I don't think for most of them either. Anyway, we left a very peaceful, happy crowd, a bunch of happy people who were minding their own business for the most part, not doing anything wrong. And within an hour, I mean, we drove to go look for some food, and all the way back we passed by, and just chaos. And by the time we got back to the hotel, they had cleared the whole thing. They were shooting tear gas and threatening journalists with guns, threatening to shoot people in the face. There were children out there, and they sent in tanks, and I mean there were cars flying from 5 miles away, cop cars coming from 5 miles away. For what reason? All the cops were there already. What were they coming to do? I don't know. I think that I was disturbed before, and now I think they can get away with anything now. I think they can do whatever they want, and I think there's a bunch of people sitting there watching TV right now, and I don't know what they're telling you, but I know it's not the truth. The government is lying to you. The local authorities are lying to you. There's no accountability left, I don't think.
Sorry to meet you on such sad circumstances.
Oh, there she is.
Well, you guys swore an oath to uphold and protect the rights of the Americans.
Oh, here we go.
Do you know why we're 8 times more likely to be killed by a police officer than a terrorist? And that's only if we join the military? That's not comment. Does it sit well with you? It doesn't sit well with me. Swore an oath to uphold and protect the rights of the people. I think people are coming in from all over the country right now. Disgusting. We're just standing around. They have no comment on the fact that they swore an oath to uphold the rights of the people. It's not based on a piece of paper. It's your word, principles. Why do you need a piece of paper to do what you say you're going to do? This is disgusting. I'm at a loss for words right now.
Yes, like you or I, police employees are individually responsible for their actions, and their misdeeds should be made transparent to help get accountability. But if one really wants to end police brutality, one must realize that at its core, it's the institution itself that must change. That is the linchpin.
This is Tony Bones with copblock.org, and this is Barney Cox with Barney Cox and Prudence, but you can't see. We left to go find some food. The place was closed. On the way back, we went back by. There was, by that time, which was before 10, there were cops coming from everywhere, and we couldn't figure out what the cops were coming for because we thought they were all here. Can you guys introduce yourselves? Get a little closer together.
I'm Tony Bones. I'm just here because I have kids and I have an obligation to do something, anything.
I'm Dr. Millier with Black Nationalist Network, also work with the new Black Panther Party as an advisor and clinical psychotherapist at MedAct, and we're going to go on with the march. There's no moratorium.
Why do you think the police would instigate violence as we believe they did last night?
Well, the police is trying to say that we're violent. The police is trying to say that we're causing all these trouble because we're getting results. And they want us to stop the march and cool it down. No one man is calling the shot on this. It's not about one man. No, we're moving forward. We're not stopping anything.
Why are you here, Tony?
I'm here on behalf of myself, my children, people in general, copblock.org. We're 8 times more likely to be killed by a police officer than a terrorist, and that's if you join the military and invade their country. I find that disturbing. This is supposed to be a free country. We have 25% of the world's prison population, which is at least probably a 5-year-old statistic, and we have about 4% of the human population. Yet we have the audacity to slap magnets on our car and prance around like we're spreading freedom all over the world. It's disgusting, and I'm here to say something about it.
Do you think this has anything to do with white people against black people?
It has everything to do with the state versus us. They want us to believe it's black versus white. They want us to believe, rich versus the poor, left versus right. They're dividing us. It is the state versus us. It is not black versus white. I have not encountered any racism, period.
None. Friendliest people you could find anywhere in the world. Yep. Hey, Prue, what do you think?
To stop shooting people?
That's correct. Very good.
That's Reverend Sharpen, right?
That's Jesse Jackson.
Jesse Jackson, Reverend Sharpen.
Oh man, that's not nice to say that. That was low.
Very careful.
As conflicts of interest become increasingly apparent among the mainstream media, it really doesn't shock me to find people learning how to empower each other through independent journalism and social networking.
What the people in the United States and all over the world are hearing from CNN and Fox News is that the protesters are rioters and that they're violent, and that's just, it's not the case. If the police have been aggressed against, it was after their aggression. That's what I believe, and that's what I think the facts say, and everybody on the ground agrees.
Numerous reports, all the reports I heard from people that were right up front was that it was instigated by police.
Well, that's inaccurate because I was there that night, you know what I'm saying? And that's not what happened. Well, the first thing in the story it says is police chased down men.
Well,
let me finish my point.
That's not what happened where you were. But
I was there, right there, with the article, the situation he was talking about. I was right there. That's what happened.
But that's not what happened where you were.
That's exactly what happened.
I'm going to let you finish your point.
What happened. No, you're not, because you're talking.
Yes, I am. I'm going to let you finish your point.
No, let me finish my point before you talk.
Okay, let me finish my point
before you talk.
I want to address something you said.
Can I finish my point? We don't have to have an interview if I can't talk. If I can't talk, we don't have to have an interview.
Okay,
can I finish my point, though? Well, you're interrupting me and telling me you're going to let me talk.
Where you were And police say you're not seeing everything that happens, that goes on. You can't see everything that
I'm
happens.
only telling you my
Now,
perspective. Can I finish telling you my perspective, and then
yes,
you can respond? Because that's how you have a conversation.
I understand that. In order to have a conversation, you have to listen to me as well.
Okay, well, let me just explain something. I would listen to you if you had the decency. Let me finish. If you had the decency to greet me.
I do have the decency. I invited you to come on.
All right, let me tell you what happened. You didn't invite me. Nicole invited me, first of all. You came up, you didn't even say nothing to me. You on your phone the whole time. You asked how to pronounce my name, and then you have no respect for who I am. So let me finish saying what I have to say, or else I'm gonna leave.
Okay.
Either I can finish saying what I'm out. You
say what you have to say.
I was down here from my perspective.
Go ahead.
All right, for what I saw with my own eyes.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Okay, and I was there on the ground. All right, that's not what happened. The CNN reports on your website says it chased men down. No, it chased men, women, and children down. The CNN report, the headline says, "Calm until bottles fly." They don't mention the bottles in the article. In the article, you read 5 pages, there's no mention of the bottles flying. I saw the bottle fly. You know when the bottle flew? After the cops told me they're gonna blow my effing head off. After the cops, I'm not done. After the cops put on riot gear, put up they shields, and took their batons out and lined up on the streets, and then when they got into position, a bottle comes out of a peaceful protest. That don't make no sense. So what I'm saying is the headline should say is calm until the cops agitated the people.
Can I talk?
And that's what the headline should have read.
Okay, so we have addressed everything that you're saying.
Please.
Okay? That's what you saw from your position.
That's why I'm here.
You're not seeing everything that's going on.
Of course not.
So from your position.
Why is everybody here tonight?
We're here tonight because of the murder of a young black male by a police officer.
Does it matter that he's black?
Does not matter that he's black. What matters is that the police officers, all of them alike, have taken the supreme authority of law to the extreme. The supreme law is about humanity, and in that law there are equal rights for all of humanity, including the police officer. He is held to the highest extent of that law. However, he takes his authority to extreme. That's why we're here tonight. No more police brutality. We need community-oriented police officers. We need police officers that are trained constantly in the Constitution.
I say it's not about black versus white, about us versus them.
It's about us versus them. Our government has already made a plan, and I wish we could get this out to all of our people. It really isn't black versus white, it's the government against the people. But they will start with who they call the minority.
Thank you. I posted a challenge out there to see if anybody could post a picture of a protester in Ferguson throwing a Molotov cocktail. Just one. I got, there's a little video of the first night where I think it's the first night where a black journalist from, I think he's from the Alex Jones show, there's a trash can that gets caught on fire and he's yelling saying, "Don't do it, man, don't do it, there's a Molotov cocktail, don't do a Molotov cocktail." And he's yelling at this kid. This is not the first time I've seen this on video, yelling at other protesters, yelling at protesters to not do stupid things, not throw things. Don't throw anything, don't throw anything. Anyway, so the kid takes this lit thing and throws it to the side in somebody's yard. It may have been a Molotov cocktail, you can't tell. So that's the only one that I've seen that's a possibility. So it could be. And somebody else posted a video and basically called me an idiot, and he posted a photograph that was on Drudge Report of a gentleman holding a bag of chips in one hand and what appears to be a tear gas canister in the other. So if you look at the picture, you see sparks and white smoke coming out of the canister, right? And a bag of chips. So I like his style. Anyway, it was reported as a tear gas canister. It looks like a tear gas canister. If you look at other images of Molotov cocktails like this one, this one, this one, and this one, you'll see there's no white smoke. And there certainly aren't any sparks. So I replied to the guy, said, "Hey, I don't think that Molotov cocktails give off smoke. I mean, white smoke, and I know they don't give off sparks." And he said, "Those aren't sparks." They're not sparks? Let's look at the picture again. I show this not to gloat and not to be a jerk, but this is the level that cognitive dissonance will take the normal human being. And I consider myself a normal human being. This guy's saying those aren't sparks. He's been told by the news media, even the liberal news media, even the left-wing public radio guys, all talk about the protesters throwing Molotov cocktails. Fine. I'm sure that there was some Molotov cocktails. There's a picture of one trying to be lit on the first night, but I haven't seen any pictures of anybody throwing them. If there were a bunch of protesters throwing Molotov cocktails, don't you think that one of the many journalists, and the citizen journalists like myself, would have at least a handful of pictures of this happening, maybe even a video of it happening. I don't see it. And they're also implying that they're throwing them at the cops. I'm pretty sure that the cops are putting out this notion that they're getting hit with rocks and Molotov cocktails. Well, if they're getting Molotov cocktails, which is gasoline, lit gasoline thrown at them, that's deadly force. And if somebody's using deadly force against them, they should use deadly force in return. I think it's completely justified to shoot someone who's throwing a Molotov cocktail being thrown at their goddamn heads. Now, why is this important? People have a narrative that they've built in their minds, and the media has fed it to them, and they've got their brains locked around it. They want to believe that this is some sort of race riot, that these are angry Negroes who just want to burn the town down, who just want to beat up whitey, who just want to cause violence. It's not true. This is overwhelmingly a political protest. It's overwhelmingly a group of peaceful people who are very upset at what the cops are doing, at what the police force in their town has become, what it's done to their young people, and they want change. People who have decided that these guys are a bunch of thugs, a group of thugs trying to burn the town down, they have an emotional investment in that, and they don't want to come off it, to the point that they will deny sparks. What else will they deny? Pretty much anything to protect their egos.
Because we allow them to do that. Then our black politicians bring their secretary behind down here. What is they doing for us? Nothing.
So the order from the governor is no more congregating?
No more congregating, but you can't move along the sidewalks.
So what are you here for?
I'm here for my kids. I'm here for myself. I'm here for other people that aren't even awake yet. I don't even know what to say. It's a really sad situation.
But it's not black and white versus white. It's us versus them.
No, I've not encountered any racism whatsoever. I've encountered nothing but open arms. And thank you. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Please, we need help. They need water. They need help. They need people here. These guys over here.
There's just off the screen. There's
they're here for violence.
Cops came with handcuffs in force for some unknown reason when Jesse Jackson was walking over. So hit that shot and then go back to Jesse Jackson. So there are the cops. There are the cops right there, and we're gonna pan back over to where Jesse Jackson is standing about.
And no cop, I've
100
asked
feet away.
probably close to 20 police officers for their badge numbers, and they have refused to identify themselves. They laugh at me like I'm a crazy person. They look the other way, or they try to stare me down. They may look away, which isn't working. I think 2 of them are wearing name tags. Most of the officers, whatever you want to call them, terrorists. Most of the terrorists that I've met in costumes do not have name tags, refusing to identify themselves, which is pretty concerning considering we pay all their salary and we're paying for this behavior. We paid for what took place last night. We paid for all of this. We paid for Mike Brown's death. And that's not okay. We're waking people up. This is not okay. You were gonna get to sit down.
Such perverse incentives mean that policing, as currently structured, will always become more repressive, so that actions like writing with children's chalk, selling raw milk, or collecting rainwater are now said to be criminal. Text written by a person you've never met does not obligate you, so why pay criminals and their demands any attention? A civilian review board is but a band-aid that only makes the situation more convoluted. Replacing a current leader with one believed to be better still leaves intact the flawed institution. Reforming legislation, words on paper that some conflate to be law, fails to change the status quo, since legitimacy is still granted to a monopolistic group who claim the sole right and ability to create and interpret actions permissible. If you believe your local police corrupt or heavy-handed, what real incentive do they have to change? Sure, a couple token scapegoats from the department may be pointed to, but at the end of the day, the same failed institution that allowed for such misdeeds is present. To really bring about a better reality, one must consider alternatives. Some may point out that there are violent people who don't wear badges. Yes, that's unfortunately true as well. But the striking difference is that police employees claim, and currently are granted by many, a legitimate right to initiate force, whereas the common criminal is not. Think about it. Your local police claim to serve and protect you, but they first steal from you and everyone else who happens to live within that arbitrary political boundary. If a police employee claims to maintain order, yet also claims to be exempt of personal responsibility of their actions due to legalese created by his friends, such as acting under the color of law or immunity, it doesn't create for a good situation. It is that institutionalized, legitimate violence that through the course of human history has by far been the most devastating to human flourishing, what one researcher has coined democide. When you're driving your car and see in your rearview mirror a police cruiser, how do you feel? Anxious? Nervous? It's pretty telling that the presence of an individual who purports to keep you safe and whom steals your money for such a service causes such a reaction. Again, it comes down to incentives. If something is wrong for you or me to do, it can't suddenly become right when done by someone wearing a badge. One's level of culpability is not contingent on one's place of employment. By replacing support of the bad idea that allows for the police state with one that applies the same standards to all, we can create a better world in which to live, both for ourselves and for future generations. I'd guess most people, be they current police employees, cop blockers, or those relatively apathetic, would prefer to live in a safe, prosperous, dynamic society. That's a desirable end. Yet buying into the claim that certain people have a legitimate right to initiate force can only bring about the polar opposite. Perhaps then it's time to consider another means. Let me pose to you a question. Who owns you? If you don't believe yourself a slave, you would rightly conclude that you own yourself. With that self-ownership comes self-government, 100% freedom coupled with 100% responsibility. Real change won't come through a revolution, whether done at the ballot box or through the cartridge box, but through an evolution, one mind at a time. A revolution, no matter the form it takes, is still couched at its hub on a bad idea, that a person or small group supposedly have the authority to regulate every aspect of your life. An evolution, on the other hand, moves past that tired idea to one where you're free to act, to pursue your happiness while respecting others to do the same, where if you harm someone or their property, you make right, where reputation is key. Most folks are good, yet for the few who aren't, by making transparent their actions, it's more likely they'll be held accountable, which also means the extent of the harm they cause is mitigated more swiftly. That's why I choose to be involved with Cop Block. The message is consistent and peaceful, and it's decentralized and effective. In stark contrast to the provision of law enforcement today, in which a person atop a monopolistic hierarchy claims the ability to know best how to supply the quality and quantity of safety, cop blockers and friends work from the bottom up and collaborate horizontally, which means an infinite number of tactics can be pursued to bring about accountability and to erode the bad idea on which the police state today is based, ultimately bringing about the world in which we want to live.
Above the courts and laws, they're building a machine the likes of which we've never seen.
是由人来解释的。6月5日清晨的这一瞬间将成为永恒的历史象征。后来他消失在人群中，下落不明，连姓名都难以确认。对于全世界千百万的电视观众来说，这一时刻的含义非常清楚。这是人类良知与勇气在向无情的国家机器
We can change things for the better, each of us, one mind at a time. I encourage you to think for yourself. Think, then act, not based on some artificial framework thrust upon you, but aligned with your own conscience. Thanks for your time.
Get along, can't always be wrong. Let's solve this now, no matter how long.
I've seen plenty of bunnies in my neighborhood.
We should catch them, feed them to my snakes. I'm mostly teasing. My snakes aren't big enough for them. Yeah. I think like comes time, I feel better giving them a
Yeah, I think